Board to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz. Councilmember Delarada.
Here.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Here.
Councilmember Brennan.
Here.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. This evening, we will begin with a presentation from our town logo work group. And Marie Bozeman will come on up and have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you very much for making time for us and putting the work group agenda item on this meeting. This is the third interim progress report. Our previous report was brought to you in February, and it is now May, but it is a good time for us to show you some of the work we've done since then. On the agenda is a recap of, just quickly to remind you what we did until February, an overview of the design process that has been ongoing since then, and then next steps after this meeting. We are working, by the way, this is the logo for Cinder Design, the design company that we are working with. On February 13, the town leadership update that we brought to you filled you in on the work group work that we did before to study and research all the work that we need to do. We also filled you in on the community connections that we made, the survey of the community, the publicity we did. And then at the end of that, at the end of the year last year, we had an RFP process that was successfully concluded in January with the contract that we did with Cinder Design. Tonight, we will reporting on the progress that we have made since the RFP process was concluded, solidifying design ideas, and then next will be design proposals. Before I show you some visuals, which I know you would love to see, I would like to just remind you the foundation upon which this work is being done at this point, building on all the work that has gone on before. This little symbol signifies, or a few symbols you'll see will signify what the community likes about Niskayuna and what their feedback told us. Niskayuna is a place with excellent schools and is great for families. The community's thinks and says that we should definitely think about Niskayuna as a place that is known for world-class innovation and scientific excellence. There's historic significance around here. The word Niskayuna, the name Niskayuna, is unique. And then places like Loch 7 and Lions Park have historic significance to the community, as well as natural significance. The community loves the parks and the open spaces and all the beautiful ways we have to enjoy nature. And the values that this community want to exemplify now and going forward are to be people that are welcoming and inclusive. We also want to remind you that we received hundreds of comments during this community survey, that every single comment was read, and all the comments were also read by the design team and were taken into account into the visuals that were developed after that. We also developed design concepts that were important to us that include a design for the logo to be objective, representative, holistic, simple, accurate, and beautiful to guide us in our decision. And then finally, very important, the Indigenous people that we talked to from our area, the learnings from them. They also emphasize that redesigning this logo is the right thing to do, that inclusion and inspiration is important in how we do this. We should understand our values and that we should know the past, live in the present, and dream for a better future. The design process, the design team from Cinder Design divided this process into 4 phases. Phases 1 and 2 1 is discovery and planning. Phase 2 was design ideation. And then the 2 coming phases, phase 3 and 4, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little bit. There were 2 steps, 2 meetings during phase 1, discovery and planning, which we, by the way, have already completed. It was planned to be done in about 3 to 4 weeks, and we completed phase 1 in 4 weeks. The first step in phase 1 was to do a kickoff meeting. And this is what these little pictures here show you. We had an in-person meeting with the whole work group, and John Delarada and Jason Moskovich joined us on the work group, which we're very grateful for. They were also there. We talked about project goals and expectations. We shared logo use cases. We reviewed community feedback and data. And the work group talked to the designers about specific attributes, and we discussed ideas, dreams, and ideals for this logo and general broad thoughts. It was a couple hours to do this meeting. A few weeks later, we gathered again, March 21st, for a second meeting. This meeting concluded the discovery and planning meeting. Now, this meeting was very interesting. What the designers did is they took all the work that we did, all the information we gave them, as well as information from the kickoff meeting, and developed 3 visual directions. And they've developed them, they look like this, a long, broad, sort of a picturesque type of a thing, a visual. They call it stylescapes. The stylescapes are meant to elicit an emotional response to the brand look and feel. They do not, note that they do not represent any original designs at this point. They display various conceptual ideas for exploration, discussion, and validation, and they were developed based on the themes that were discovered during surveys and research, as we just reminded you of. Each stylescape follows a theme, shows some imagery, and includes certain symbolism. So quick overview, it's really interesting what they did. This one has a theme of heritage, showing Niskayuna is proud of its past, remember the past, embrace the future. Strong, proud, confident, truthful, and dependable are words that describe this theme. They found some imagery of the co-op in 1943, of Frank Guntham on his farm on Consul Road from a long time ago, some ice harvesting that was done pre-1930 on the Mohawk River, and a trolley crossing the Laishakill in 1920. Symbolism here include farming, 3 sisters or corn workers, the trolley, the color purple, and the double lines that evoke the wampum connection. The second stylescape is labeled community. The theme here is Niskayuna is a connected and united community. We are growing together. We are a great place for families, nurturing, welcoming, and warm. We have a connection to nature. Imagery here include, and I think you can see it there, Lions Park, the train station, girls playing in the wheat fields, the original Rexford Bridge from about the 80s, we think, or the 70s, that picture, and then Niskaday pictures from today and from 1980s. And the symbolism here includes trees, specifically the white pine, which is for the indigenous peoples, the tree of peace. It is an example of how the Haudenosaunee live their lives, conduct themselves, protect each other to benefit everyone. And it also represents that we are connected through common roots. And the circular shape is also in here that symbolizes connectedness. The third stylescape is called progress. Niskayuna is focused on the future. Vision, the future is bright, optimism, innovativeness, passage of time told through achievements and excellence. Imagery here includes some GE images, the GE facility from the 1950s. There's an electric car that GE actually developed and was showcased at the 1978 bicentennial. And then also a picture of a solar farm that we currently have in Niskayuna. Symbolism here includes the atomic symbol, which is currently on our logo, the sun, which is bright, water, which is moving forward, and then the heron. The heron embodies wisdom, patience, and good judgment in Native American lore. And the Haudenosaunee feel that the sight of a heron before a hunt was a good omen for success. So these stylescapes were discussed in depth, and the design team took copious notes while we were discussing this. It was meant to evoke emotional responses, and so this was a very, very good, thorough, and thoughtful discussion. They took all of that and went back and started sketching. They told us that they made hundreds of sketches. For us, they brought back 52 sketches on May 9th. Now, the design team told us that they usually don't bring that many sketches back to a group or a client that they work for. But since this group has done so much of the pre-work themselves, they felt that a discussion is necessary and they didn't want to bring us a very limited choice. So we had 52 sketches to look at. And during our discussion last week, we honed it down to about 9 images that we feel give us a good starting point to get to a more final design. Excuse me. So in these images, these are pencil sketches. A design, there's no color yet. The colors you saw on the stylescapes were just suggestions. A design that doesn't work in pencil or black and white will also not work in color. So it starts here with a black and white design. The elements that spoke to the work group, and you'll recognize some common themes by this time, I'm sure. There's corn. You'll see the shape of corn, the texture of corn. Corn is within the meaning of the word Niskayuna. So that is a very important symbol for us. Water is important. Water has so many meanings for this community. It ties us to nature. We sit right on the Mohawk. We have historical activities that happen because of the Mohawk River. There's community spaces on the river. Water flows forward. It signifies going into the future together. Some of these images show the heron, which I just previously said has meaning, a lot of meaning in terms of wisdom and forward moving for Indigenous people. And in everything we do, we would like to honor our Indigenous heritage in this area as well. You will see double lines in some of these, which refer back to the wampum belt. The circular shape is, we considered other shapes for the logo. Currently, our logo is a circular shape, and we feel that the circular shape makes sense. We would like to keep that. It makes us think about the sun, brightness. The circle is inclusive, and it signifies excellence and perfection. Wording will possibly include Niskayuna, New York. And then the emotions that these elicit include simplicity, beauty, joy, uniqueness, and we feel there's some educational meaning in these preliminary designs. So what comes next? We have the design refinement stage next. That includes a couple of meetings with lots of technical discussions, color obviously, and then other things like lettering and just final placement of elements, which ones to use. We believe that after the 2 design refinement meetings upcoming, we should be able to come to the board with a recommendation for a design. We think it can be done by the June meeting, but we would also like to be thorough in our work. So it might go to the July meeting before we will be able to do that properly. And then after that comes the phase of delivery and implementation. And implementation includes a meeting during which we will discuss the launch of a logo, with the designers. They will help us with that. We will also discuss how we can build education around it, and I can envision that in that meeting, many of you might like to be present. That should be a very fun part of this work. Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for your work and your presentation. And I really look forward to seeing what the group brings to the town board next. It's exciting. All right, we'll move on to resolutions, starting with Resolution 2024-127, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution appointing a payroll clerk in the Comptroller's Department.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2024-128, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the supervisor to enter into a renewal agreement for insurance coverage for the town.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. That's all we have for tonight's special meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you.